Now that you're closer, you see that the tower is a chaotic mess. There are statues of all sorts poking out, pipes running the way, and that blocks of stone wedged out. Then other areas that are so smooth you wouldn't be able to climb it at all. One pair of pipes, each thicker than two men, run in parallel up much of the side of the towers. Starting at the bottom, if you climbed up between them, you'd probably be hidden from most angles of observation. With there being fewer imps on the sunny side, you might have a shot climbing without notice. I mean, that is true. Bear Grylls did that once. Not that he was infiltrating a witch's tower. He was climbing up like a desert area, and there were like two rocks, and he would just like put his back on it and put his feet on the front wall and just like pushed himself up. It was really like dangerous to look at. Like if he like slipped, let the tension go for even a second, he would have fucking dropped straight down on his fucking ass. On top of that, that would not have been good. But anyway, so this is probably the method we are choosing. You crawl under the tower along the rim until you're under the pipes. You take a deep breath, rush out from underneath the tower, begin climbing, keeping yourself close to the wall. Okay. The pipes. It's a good thing I didn't go for the doors then. I think that might have gotten me killed. The pipes make for relatively easy. I have one morale throughout all of this. The pipes make for relatively easy climbing when you don't have a good hand or footholds on the tower wall itself. This is so confusing. Why do they have to write it this way? When you don't have good hand or footholds on the tower walls itself, you're able to shimmy up between the pipes. It's so confusing. I get what they're trying to say, but it's just written very weirdly. Although the pipes are giving you cover as you climb, they also block your sight. You're probably already past a window or two. You've already passed a window or two. Press out from the wall, peek over the pipes. There are few open windows, however none of them are within reach. You will have to traverse out in the open, and that's just too risky. You decide it would be better to keep climbing using the cover of the pipes and hope to find a better entrance. Besides, the best thing in towers is always towards the top, you suppose. Then again, the witches are also towards the top, so that's going to be a problem. And Drala is all-seeing. She has so many eyes on her, so it's going to be a problem. You continue to climb, making good time until you realize that the pipes that have done such a good job keeping you hidden disappear into the side of the tower a few meters above. I get it, it's like a design. Another road, you think. You peek up, see a window, however it is closed. It might be unlocked, but you'd rather not find out in the open. You'd rather not get out in the open, only to have to either break the glass or retreat. Below is an open window. It is very close to the pipe road you're using. You duck back behind the cover and climb down, estimating the distance. When you peek again, you spot an imp sailing past below in the left, alighting on a windowsill. You wait for the little beastie to disappear inside before you climb around the pipes. Set your feet on the windowsill, then climb in. You're surrounded by flower bushes and rich green leaves. Okay, so we climbed in, so I didn't even get a choice for that. You're surrounded by flower bushes and rich green leaves. It reminds you of the roof garden at the Duke's castle. Only these flowers are even more vibrant. Some of them glow pink, red, violets, and plenty of colors you don't even know. Light streams down from above. To your amazing, it's a blue sky, an illusion, you think. There's a ceiling up there somewhere because you know you climbed perhaps only halfway up the tower. Reach out and stroke the wide green leaf of a nearby flower plant. It feels like you'd expect. It's either not an illusion or it is a very good one. It must be magic, not just the sunlight and the sky within the tower, but the plants itself. Even the air thrums with something special. Despite likely being in mortal danger, you cannot help but grin in this place. A huge yellow flower bulges its petals before belching white pollen gently into the air. It smells nice. I don't think that's a good idea to be smelling pollen. Yeah, that's probably not good. So standing on a narrow stone path, a tiny winding brook gurgles out alongside. I mean, there's a brook, then the illusions in this area are next level. Gurgles alongside. You walk over and pet the stalk of the tall flower that bestowed the pollen. It's particularly pleasant over there. How lovely you are, you say tenderly to the flower. There's giggling coming from further in. Someone is having fun. I'm being drugged by these wonderful flowers, you realize, obviously. Want to go home with me? You ask the flower. In response, it puffs up and exhales another burst of soft particles into your face. Your body tingles and you laugh. Everything's going to be just fine. More giggling. You walk along the path with the stream closer to the giggling. As you stroll deeper into the tower, you turn your head leisurely, smiling large and taking it all in. Despite the countless places you might be ambushed from, clutch movement from behind a bush nearby. Without hesitation, you open the leaves and peer in to reveal a little den with a very small horse nestled on a red cloth bed. What the fuck? You're certain it's a lady horse. She has large, beautiful brown eyes and long lashes. You're so caught up in her big eyes that it takes you a few moments to notice the little horn on her forehead. Unicorn, you breathe. Breath? You breath? What the fuck? You breath. Okay. A unicorn, you breath. She gets up. Her skinny legs are long and her tiny hooves are shiny, as though polished. Oh, who has a pretty horn? Oh, this is cringe. This is so cringe. What is this? You ask her, leaning towards her. Who has the most precious pretty horn? Quickly, you answer for her. Yoozy Woozy does. That is so cringe. The unicorn shakes her tail, opens her little horse lips and makes a sound that might be language. It's wonderful. Strange words come from behind you. You back up out of the thicket of the flower, turn to see what appears to be 3 children standing on the path glaring at you. But then you spot pointy ears sticking out of their long silky hair, reminding you of halflings, yet they are too thin and their features are too fine. Elven children, you wonder. You whisper. They do not look like wood elves, which as those that live in Ring City. Rather, they are paler and even more delicate. They remind you of the smaller version of Lestril, Kalak's apprentice. The tallest of the 3, perhaps the oldest one, stands in the middle and is a step closer to you. She frowns at you for a moment before turning and saying something in a rich feminine language. She then turns back to you and says in common tongue. Her name is Enroar, or Sunrise in common. Her eyes flick into the thicket to indicate she's referring to the unicorn. And Roar does not enjoy being spoken to like a baby. The other 2 small elves nod with serious expression. One crosses her arms. Oh, I was just asking Aurora a question, you say. No need. Simply call her Sunrise if you cannot say her proper elvish name correctly, says the taller elf girl interrupting you. Sunrise only speaks the language of her kind and elvish. Still, even though she does not understand your odd question, she knows that she is being spoken to like a baby, in any language, as one of the smaller elves. Anna Roar is very smart. She deserves dignity, joins in the third, the smallest of the 3. I mean, at this point, I would be grabbing my sword just at the ready, because despite everything else, this is a very fucked situation. Every situation has been fucked since I've started reading this. Rogue's choice has been far more, taxing on the mind than Viz's choice was. Why would you ask her who has a precious tiny horn when no one else nearby has a horn at all? Says the tallest elf. Yes, why be so specific? Asks the second elf. Look, you say, raising your hands with a chuckle. It's not as though I expected an answer. I ask animal questions all the time. She is not an animal, squeaks the smallest elf. Oh, I know, I suppose, but she looks like one except for the horn. You say, appearing as an animal does not make you one, says the taller elf. Usually it does, you say. Anyway, I have nothing against animals. I myself go by the name of bird. You bow to the elves. Rooster is my name. In any event, Rooster, it makes no sense to speak into an animal as though it were a baby, says the second elf, or ask her nonsense question. What is this conversation? You smile patiently at the elves. You must admit that the baby unicorn is adorable. I want her and wanted to just squeeze her all up. Oh, that's fucking funny. Now he's speaking gibberish to us too, says the middle-sized elf. He's intoxicated with Fana, says the tallest. She shakes her head. Humans are so weak-minded. You look over at the unicorn, who glares at you for a moment, raises her head up proudly and trots past you. The elf steps off the trail to allow the unicorn to pass. The unicorn tosses her mane and says something you can't understand in a wonderful little voice. You can't tell me that you don't want to snuggle your nose into the furry neck and just... you stall out as you stare after the unicorn. Just what? What possible reason would you have to shove your nose into her neck? Says the older elf. Just what? Joins the smallest. Just get it, you say. That sounds vague and ominous, says the middle-sized elf. Venel, give him the antidote before he harms Enroar. I don't know, says the older elf, biting her lower lip. You only have one left. Remember the last one? She wouldn't leave. What? Remember the last one? She wouldn't leave. She wouldn't leave. Krea was in here. You're barely listening to them as you tried again to explain. I mean, just squeeze her all up, scratch her little hiney hind, just her little necky neck and her Flappy lippies. You say with your what is this? This sounds like furry. Like, am I in a furry forum now? What the fuck is this? You say with a yearning, staring at the unicorn. Andror deserves dignity, says one small elf. None of that sounds dignified. The older elf sighs as she dips in the folds of her dress, pulls out a small vial of blue crystal. Drink this, she says, offering you the vial. Without a thought, you snatch the vial, uncork it, and quaff it. Warmth spreads through your body, although unfortunately the pleasant fog in your mind clears. The first thing you realize that you have a goofy smile on your face. You replace the goofiness with your best version of a warm smile. My thanks, you say. Some call me Dragon. You introduce yourself as Rooster, says the older one. Oh yes, fine. I'll go by that then. The elves introduce themselves. The tallest is called Venel. The next tallest is Alva. The smallest one with the high-pitched voice is Nipper. Surprised, the unicorn peeks out from behind the elves with her big brown eyes. She's still extremely cute, although you no longer feel the overwhelming need to express this out loud. What's a young unicorn doing here? Shouldn't she be somewhere where she can run free, you ask? The three elves exchange looks, and then Venel speaks up. Her father was slain, and she was left alone. Sacrificed to Nerul, joins in Alva. Oh right, I remember this! Holy shit! I remember this. In the first chapter of... Wizard's Choice, they do kill what is the name again? They do kill a unicorn. I do remember there was a combat sequence where we free the unicorn, and it's already taken too much damage, and it like kills a bunch of the Nerul's like minions, but then it like succumbs to its death and whatever. Now, where's her mother, you ask? We don't know. The period of fathering lasts for 10 months or more, says Vanel. You were about to ask what that means. Yeah, that makes sense because, you know, the period of fathering, maybe the males carry the baby in their case. I mean, I've heard of like toads. I think toads or frogs carry the eggs on them. But this might be like a pregnancy thing. I'm not sure. Says Vanel. You're about to ask what that means. When Vanel asks, what is a human doing in Drala's tower? What do you say? Congress of Drala, I'm looking for someone. I'm looking for something. Well, I'm looking for something, but it's probably with someone, so I should probably look for someone since we are here for that. Looking for someone. I'm looking for someone, you say. Whom do you seek, says Vanel. I seek a human woman, you say. You may have seen her long black hair. She has a white rat. Her name is Krea. Vanel looks at the others and then back at you. We know of such a human, yet she does not go by that name. What do you want from her? Who does this elf child think she is, you think? You're the hero that smote the Thog's abomination. Now you're being interrogated by a child. That's my business, you say. He wishes to mate her, says Alva, shaking her head disapprovingly. Humans breed too much, squeaks Nipper. You sound like your mother, says Vanel, frowning. That is rude, you say, pointing at them. Do elves not teach their young to respect their elders? Even Nippa has more winters than you, I suspect, says Vanel. You see this? You say, stroking what used to be your goatee is becoming a full beard. This is the face of a man. Show some respect. So too does the beaver have fur on his face, says Vanel. Female beavers too, says Alva. Yet do you expect us to respect the beaver? Vanel asks victoriously. Although we do not disrespect the beaver, corrects Alva. Yes, of course, we do not disrespect the beaver, agrees Vanel. This is such a weird conversation. Well, I would expect you to show me at least as much respect as you do for beavers, you say. You chastise the beaver for breeding? No, says Vanel with a thoughtful expression, as though she's actually considering your question. Although it would do no good, she says, putting a finger to her chin, for they do not even understand common. You're not getting anywhere with these elvish children. You're tempted to leave them, except they might know something useful, or worse, they might raise an alarm. What do you say next? It hurts my feeling to be treated worse than a beaver. The sooner you aid me, the sooner I'll leave. I suppose you wouldn't know, as you are merely children. From my bow, you can see I'm a friend of the elves. Oh, I have a bow though, but that might be like extremely dangerous to pull out a bow and say that stuff. Let's just go with this. The sooner you aid me, the sooner I'll leave. Because they did mention that she didn't leave last time. So let's go with that. Sooner you aid me, the sooner I'll leave, you say. Vanel smirks at you and then turns and says something in Elvish to the unicorn. Unicorn says something back, her cute lips flapping as she glares at you. Even with her hard-set eyes on you, she's adorable. Yes, we have seen such a woman, says Vanel, at last. She was accompanied by her mother, says Alva. Her mother, you say? Vanel raises her eyebrows. You do not know? Drala, the all-seeing eye, is Krea's mother? You whisper, beware her mother if you wish to mate the daughter, says Vanel. I do not want to give offense, yet I must warn that Drala would not approve a man who conducts himself as you do.